couple that's been living together for 20 years decided to get married.
Yeah, so in your package, you'll see a letter that was received from Colleen Mills. And as Walter said, this couple would like to get married on the Bridge of Flowers and Light on June 9th at 2 p.m. They're estimating there will be around 100 people in attendance at the ceremony. And so they're asking permission from the board to be able to use the bridge for that purpose. There is some precedence for it. We haven't had a wedding on the bridge in a while. I'd say probably maybe 8 or 9 years. But there have on occasion been some weddings over on the Bridge of Flowers and Light, and the board has allowed people to do that if they requested it. But it has been a while. I was trying to think of when the last time we got a request was, and I think it was about 8 or 9 years ago. I also checked with our insurance company just to make sure there wouldn't be any issues or whether they felt we would need to get a rider or something in order to cover that event. And they seem to think it would be okay if we're only doing it, that infrequently, once every, many years, then they seem to think there wouldn't be a problem with coverage.
So you have followed up with the insurance company then?
Yeah.
Okay. And June the 9th, it's a Saturday. Just so
I guess just as long as they clean up after themselves and we're not liable for anybody falling off the bridge.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, well, that's an everyday thing.
That's no different than anybody visiting.
Yeah, I mean, every day.
Are you invited? Are you gonna stay sober?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Ellen, but we don't close that bridge off ever. It's open 24/7, so we're always carrying that liability. It's sad to think that, something like that might happen.
yeah, I'll make a move.
We have a motion, second?
I'll second that.
Second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
And I'll make, when I respond back to Colleen Mills, I will make mention about just making sure they clean up the site when they're finished there. Okay.
There's just one item there. I wonder if we should just touch base with her, just allow her to know that we've done a beautiful job making the Bridge of Flowers, especially in the summer with all the flowers are in bloom. I don't imagine we'll be working with flowers this year, will we, with all the construction going on?
Yeah, I think so.
We will be?
Yeah, we're done with the construction on the bridge now for a while. Our engineer had said we're good for at least 5 years before he would recommend doing any more work on there.
We've got something else to worry about.
So yeah, I've already been talking with Gary and Ken about making arrangements to. It's a little early yet, I know, because all of a sudden the temperature went from 25 to 73 in about a 3-day period. Everybody's feeling like it's summer now, but it's not really totally here yet, but it will be soon, and probably in another week to 2 weeks will be a good time to start planting the flowers over on the bridge. And I've talked with Gary and Ken about that, so that should be coming soon.
Good, okay. Next item is Enosburg Falls Economic Development Board appointment.
So again, you'll see if you flip in your packets, I've written a memo to the board. The Enosburg Falls Economic Development Corporation is requesting that the Board of Trustees reappoint the EFEDC Board of Director position that's held by Noel Anderson. Noel has expressed to the EFEDC board that because of the time that they are meeting, he is not able to make those meetings. They're meeting, well, they've been meeting usually the third Thursday of the month at 3:30 to 5:30. And Noel just can't make that meeting time because of his work. So since they, have reorganized themselves about 7 months ago, he's not attended a meeting that they've had. So, and he's just not going to be able to if that's the meeting time that they're going to continue to go at. So, nothing personal. It's just, they'd like to have a member that is able to attend the meetings.
Do they have anybody in mind? Or?
Yeah, so if you go down further in the memo I wrote, the EFEDC is recommending to the Board of Trustees Andre Vians
Yep.
be appointed to take Noel Anderson's position. They understand that this is a Board of Trustees designated appointment, so you're under no obligation to follow their recommendation. You can appoint someone else if you choose to, but they are offering this person. They've spoke with Andre already to see if he has interest being on the board. He's indicated that he would do it if he was appointed.
I'll nominate Andre.
I'll second that.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Next item is engine brake ordinance discussion. I don't know, someone could.
So this was, Leonard actually gave me a call and asked if this could be put on the agenda as a discussion item. I think you've been contacted by some of your neighbors, is what he told me, Leonard. So I'll let you speak to the board about that. If anybody is not familiar with what engine brakes are, they're known more commonly as Jake brakes. A lot of people call them Jake brakes. But technically you're not supposed to use that word because Jake brake is a brand name.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so you're supposed to call them engine brakes. But go ahead, Leonard.
Well, in talking, I got quite a few neighbors that are very upset. This starts off like 5 o'clock in the morning, and they said, it's very few, and it's not the local ones. It's not local people in the Enosburg area. It's a lot of Canadians or loggers or that are coming in from outside. And
5 o'clock, it's time to get up anyways.
and the speed limit is 25 miles an hour coming down Main Street. So there's no reason to use them in the first place. But some people, just like young guys with motorcycles, they like to make a lot of noise, I guess. But you'd be surprised how many people on Main Street are fed up with it.
Yeah.
And this young man made this statement about thank you for not using the engine brakes on the sign. Instead of putting a law that do not use, this young guy over there, he mentions, says, thank you for not using them. Does that sound?
Just to get a couple signs up.
Pardon?
We only need one, right? At the top of Main Street?
Well, we have to have them at each coming into the village.
Okay.
No, I was thinking if we, instead of putting up signs that do not use engine brakes, is thank you for not using, not the same thing probably, but
Yeah.
I don't know how you want to word it because,
What Swanton says.
You'd
When we come out of
have
Swanton's plant, it says something.
to pass an ordinance if you wanted to do this.
You couldn't just put a sign up?
Well, no, I mean, just putting a sign up isn't going to do anything. You're not going to be able to, you have to pass an ordinance in order to have any enforcement behind it. So, that's what you would have to do. And there are communities that have done that.
Still.
Yeah. And then, you'd have to have a fine system attached to the ordinance for offenses. And,
Who's going to enforce it though?
well, in the past, that's been part of the issue. This isn't the first time this subject has come up to the Board of Trustees. This is probably at least the third time since I've been here the Board of Trustees have discussed this. And in the past, the board has fallen short of actually passing an ordinance for two reasons. One being because we have 3 trucking companies in the community, they felt it would give the wrong message to the trucking companies, and they didn't want to make the owners of the companies feel like, you know, the people that they employ in the community aren't appreciated. But then the enforcement part of it was also an issue that the board felt it would be difficult to have a police officer be able to enforce this, and so maybe there wasn't as much value in it as people might think there is. But, you know, that was years ago. This is a different board, and this board may feel differently about the issue than past boards.
There's a person that told me they brought it up to the board before, but the board wouldn't listen to them years ago, a few years ago. And I said, well, they said, you're a trustee, speak up. So I'm speaking up.
Some board members are hard of hearing.
Yeah.
But no, I think the engine brake is part of safe driving, so you got to be careful, I think, how the thing is worded.
What if we do a timed ordinance, none after 8, none before 8, so 8 to 8 at night, no engine brakes. That way during the day, people can still use them and everyone should be awake.
Yeah, well,
Well, the thing is, in Enosburg, I don't think there's a place you need them, really. On our road, maybe.
Yeah, come down by my house, they really blast going through that.
But on Main Street, you know, I don't know.
Like right by the 1906 house, it's enough hill to have to use them.
Yeah.
But before I was on the board, somebody had come to me and asked what that noise was and how you could drive to avoid it. So, I mean, they are kind of obnoxious if they're going at all hours of the night, and they go by my house and they're pretty loud.
Well, it's no different than a motorcycle. It's
Right.
The guys that are driving, they like the noise.
Wow.
It isn't, and a motorcycle the same way. So it's not an easy thing to.
no, but a lot of villages have done it, and we got nothing to stand on if we don't have an ordinance.
No, yeah, if you don't have an ordinance, you can't
Can't do nothing.
put any pressure on it. Would it help to communicate with other towns right now to find out just how they're handling it? I don't know.
What difference that would make?
I'm concerned
Who else
about
has
that.
them? You said Swan has them?
Swan has it, because of the pipe plant.
Oh, right,
I
right,
don't
right.
have to shut them off when they go in and out.
The only other community in Vermont I'm aware of, there are some in other parts of the country. The only other one in Vermont that I am aware of is Vergennes, city of Vergennes, which is down in Addison
Yeah,
County.
yeah.
I know they have one.
Now, there's a place that they probably need an engine, an engine brake is very helpful going down
Mm-hmm.
at different gens. So it's, no, my first thought was just not look for enforcement, put up a sign, hopefully people will comply. But,
We could always start with a sign, right? Make an
Huh?
ordinance after.
Yeah, it won't,
Better to ask than to tell, right?
well, yeah, the thing is though, if there's no law behind it, it doesn't mean anything, you know.
Well, maybe people don't realize that they're so loud and they don't.
That's
you
it.
wouldn't
Truck
think they
drivers
use
in
it.
the cab,
You don't hear it in the
they
cab.
don't realize, they don't. You used to live on Main Street, you know how
Yeah.
annoying it was.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, make believe you're an old retired person. I know we all
Yeah.
go deaf, but it
I'm
bugs us
not-
even more.
Yeah, I'm not taking, and
Yeah.
even when I lived on Main Street, I didn't take a position
Yeah.
on, whether this should or should not be done. I don't, you know, my job is to help facilitate your discussions and help you come to a decision as policymakers. But I don't think it's right for the village manager to come out and take a strong position on a particular ordinance or not.
Right.
What would it entail getting signs? Just one on 108, one on 108 North, and then at the top of Main Street, you don't need one on the bottom because you're going uphill. So
Well, you got
three signs.
105 each direction, you got 108 each.
So are you saying just post the signs and no ordinance adopted, or?
Well, that's my first impression. I don't know if it makes sense or not, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that would be a bad idea. Just
Thanking them for
put
not
the word
using
out
them
there.
instead of telling them not to use them. You know,
Yeah, I
So the
guess,
sign will be there, but it's not gonna carry weight, basically.
Yeah,
no, but
Who's
I
going to be
don't know
out
if we
if
should
we wanted to
have.
enforce it anyway?
Yeah, that's right.
well, they probably will if they got something to go on, but right now, even though they
Say
wanted
no
to
from
stop
out of
somebody,
town.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, I wasn't thinking.
you know, like your brother, if he wanted to stop
Yeah.
somebody,
you could, but I mean, they're done at 2. And, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't see a problem with putting signs up, just to say like, please no engine brakes, or thank you for not using it.
Just as a courtesy sign.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
want
that's
to.
what I was thinking, more than an enforcement
Because
thing.
what if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday? You know, I mean, you do need them going down Main Street, or down 108 by my place, or you know, you do need to use them.
yeah, but Main Street's 25 miles an hour, you're not supposed to use,
You use it to maintain your speed. If you don't, you'll have to use your air brakes, and
wow.
I mean it's a little different than driving a big truck because if you use just a little bit of your air brake, it slows you down a lot. So that's a lot of wear and tear on the vehicle. That's the whole reason why they were made in the first place is to stop using brakes.
That's what I mean, it's part of a safety driving thing, you know.
You don't have Jake on your town truck or on your state truck, do you?
I got a snowplow.
Yeah, we have
snowplow.
Yeah, we have an engine brake.
You do. Using
They're modified now that.
yeah. But and you
It's not
do you
like
do
yours.
yours going down Main Street? You do, yeah. I use mine. But of course I don't operate at midnight, 5 a.m.
Mhm.
So
I do, I like to wake them up.
You do.
No.
so what would we have to do to get some signs if you guys want to hang the signs first? If it's still an issue,
Well,
then
we
can go
want to
back
look
to-
into it first, see what other. I have no
yeah,
problem.
to do what you're suggesting, Sam, I really don't know how, I've never seen that before, where you just
Courtesy
asking-
sign.
Right, you're a courtesy sign where you just, I don't know quite how we would phrase something like that, because you'd also have to be careful in how you set it so that people understood you're not actually forbidding this, you're just asking if they won't do it.
Right.
The one in Stowe says, please no engine brakes. And that's not saying, you know,
Yeah.
no engine brakes. Or
So-
Yeah,
even thank you for not using your engine brake is
Either
still
way.
not a don't use it.
Yeah.
It's- So,
So
you would
that's,
need an ordinance
that's
behind
kind of
it.
the word, the language that you've seen in that?
Right.
Is you
What
see that
way
in
to-
Stowe?
Yep, 108 and then, what is it, 100? No. What's the other one I look? It is 100. Okay, they both have them on.
But Swanton, I think Swanton pipe plant had to put that one up.
Just around the
Just that
plant?
one sign, yeah, it says, please no engine brake.
Right. I wonder if they have an ordinance behind it, or if
Yeah, I
they're
don't
just
know.
asking as a
well,
courtesy
to me,
thing.
it's not about the ordinance so much as making it a revenue thing to find people. It's more or less trying to get people to comply without
Right.
throwing a hook at anybody, you know.
And it,
Yeah, there'll be nothing to enforce unless you
There'll be
go
nothing
through
to
an
enforce.
ordinance procedure.
If somebody see one go down through and they were noisy, they could just stop them and tell them that, they don't, they couldn't, wouldn't be able to find anybody, but
No, you can't. no.
But
Well,
anyway,
what's
it's
the
just-
board interest here?
what's that?
What interests you, where do you want this to go from this particular moment?
Well, I think we should get hold of some of these other communities, like you say, Swanton has them, see what they've done and how it's working, and
I could ask some questions too, I mean, even with the state.
Okay.
'cause I don't think everything we do should be to get a fine out of somebody.
and especially, if it's in the afternoon during
Why don't we
operating
table
hours.
this temporarily until everybody has done basic research on it, and we'll review it next meeting.
We want to try to get people to comply without, you know, I think that's,
Right, I mean, I don't wanna be rolling down at noon on a bright sunny day in the middle of summer and get a ticket for
no.
using my engine brake going down Main Street.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's some courtesy behind it, and I wouldn't be doing it at midnight or 5 a.m., but then again.
Well, this is what they were griping about.
Right.
It was like 5 o'clock in the morning.
I could drop my plow, that'd make
You
it
could.
work louder for you.
Don't worry, I hear them too, they go by and they're Canadians, they go by every morning.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, that's
I
what
guess
they were
it's
saying.
general consensus,
It's
then.
not the local people,
We
it's.
could look into other communities and see what they have with regards to it.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about it next meeting.
Yeah, that's
And
what
and I do understand what you're saying, Leonard, is when you and I talked privately, I mean, I lived in an apartment on Main Street for the first 7 years that I was here, and I heard it every night. I do know what you're talking about. So it's just a matter of, you know, what's the best way to handle it here. Okay, so my understanding is then, you'd like staff to make some inquiries around some other communities and just see it. I'll definitely, I didn't know that Stowe had just kind of a courtesy sign. I've never noticed that.
Well,
I've seen it before.
somewhere.
So I will definitely contact Stowe and ask them, you know, what does that sign say, and get the background behind it.
And see if they have an ordinance.
Right.
Swanton has it too, did somebody say Swanton has it?
Set out in stone?
No.
I don't think
I've never
so,
seen
but
a sign.
for Jens does, but theirs is an actual ordinance.
Yeah, that is an ordinance.
Yeah, they have a no engine brake ordinance and for Jens.
I'll have to check, I think maybe Randolph does too, because they got a hell of a dog one in their town.
No ordinance, or an ordinance?
Like I said, I'll have to check.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember.
See
but I
what
was
you
there
can
for
find
12
out,
years.
Sam.
Okay,
Talk
so
about it this meeting.
Stowe, do you want to look at communities that do have ordinances as well, or just try and find ones that have courtesy signs?
Both, I guess.
Both, okay. Okay, we'll do some research then, and when I feel like we've, you know, gotten enough feedback from people to, you know, make a little presentation to you guys, and we'll put it back on the agenda again. Does that sound like a plan?
Yep.
Okay.
Good, yeah.
Next item is the Lincoln Park permit request, American Legion 42. I believe that is for Rolling Thunder on May the 27th. Is that correct? Yes. May 27th.
Remember there was a whole bunch of people here one night and they wanted
That was for the
that
trees.
art. Was that same weekend?
It's a Saturday, this is a Sunday, so this is the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the art in the park is for the 26th of May,
Oh, so
which
just
is
one day.
Saturday, and then Vermont Thunder is Sunday.
Okay. I thought the art thing was all weekend.
No, just for Saturday, the 26th.
The only thing we do for them basically is provide the electricity and portlets. Is that correct?
For Vermont Thunder?
Yeah.
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 And that's Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, correct.
Yep. So we'll need a motion to that effect that we authorize the Legion to use the park for that specific reason.
I make the motion that we do.
Second.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
There's a second one there too.
Yeah.
Walter.
We've got here,
It's for Memorial Day, May
I
28th.
don't see that on the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's on right in back of the Vermont Thunder
Oh.
one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
There's a second permit request from the Legion.
Oh, it's for the same day.
The following day, May 28th, to do a Memorial Day event on the park.
We've got date of function, May 27th.
Are you missing something?
No, it's on, there's two, there's one says the 28th.
Right here. Oh, this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
May 28th.
Is it the same permit?
Oh, parade and
No,
tops.
it's two different dates. Same organization, they're both from the American Legion, So they're asking to do Vermont Thunder on the
So
27th,
the back
The service on the 28th?
and then a memorial service on the 28th.
Yeah. So we'll entertain a motion then for the 28th, I guess. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
I'll make a motion.
Yep. Second?
I'll second it.
Yep. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next one is Town of Enosburg Green Up Day, use of village public works garage.
So I was contacted by Billy Joe Draper, the town clerk, and she thinks that the town is going to try and do a more formal Green Up Day this year. We haven't done that in a while in this community. We used to do it.
There's a man right there that used to handle it all.
Big guy, bro.
Yeah, the guy bro, number one in command.
But it's been a while, and Kelly Maddox did it for a while as well. She's co-owner of the Flying Disc Coffee Shop. But it's probably been, I'd say, 5 or 6 years since Enosburg's really done a coordinated Green Up Day effort. But Billy Joe contacted me last week and said she's been talking with some people, and she believes, at least, she's going to have somebody to act as coordinator for a Green Up Day event. And her question to the village was, in past, when we had Green Up Day events, the village used our public works garage as one of the drop-off points for people to, bring in garbage wherever they've collected it on the sides of the roads or whatever. And then, of course, we would then be responsible for disposing of it as well, whatever people brought. And then she also said the town is going to use their public works garage as another drop-off point. So we'd have 2 drop-off points in the community, one in the village and one in the town. And that was her question. She wanted to put to the Board of Trustees, would we be willing to use our public works garage as a drop-off point? The only questions I would say you guys need to think about in answering that is, if we do that, we may want to have it manned, so we may want to designate someone from Public Works Department to be there just to sort of make sure things aren't getting too carried away and people are, bringing in things that maybe they really shouldn't be bringing in there. And then the other is just, you need to realize there will be a cost to this. Hopefully it won't be a lot, but I could, you don't know what people are going to bring.
As far as I know, they've been dropping off each year anyways, even though it hasn't been completely organized. They've been using our facilities as a drop-off.
It happened last year, yeah. The gates were locked. We were not expecting that, but people dropped some stuff up anyway, and we ended up, what could we do? We didn't know who did it, so we ended up getting rid of it. But if I had to guess, I'd say it may be $400 or $500. But it all depends on what people bring. If we get a lot of bad stuff, it might be more than that. It might be 900, maybe 1,000.
I think you'll find that the rates fluctuate for that specific function, though.
Yeah, we got, and you can get anything. People bring in couches, televisions, refrigerators. People bring in some weird stuff sometimes.
I definitely think it should be manned, so they wouldn't be bringing in, truckloads of stuff.
Like tires are really hard.
Yeah, tires are another
I mean,
one.
this is meant for a green up or
Right.
community green up. It's not meant for a business to bring in.
Right, or somebody's got a broken dishwasher in their backyard that
Exactly.
they found on the side of the road and brought in to throw away.
Right, exactly.
Something like
And you
Blue
just
takes those.
They do? Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
got
Blue's got a big dumpster, they
The
take those.
dishwasher don't automate, it's
Yeah,
the other
but
thing.
tires is the main thing because they cost $4 to $5 a piece.
tires.
$4 a piece.
yeah.
And
Tires.
O'Reilly's or Bombs used to run that tire thing, so there's
Yeah.
places that people can go.
I know because I was involved last week and I was involved with 36 tires to dispose of.
Yeah,
The building that we own, the horse barn that we own on the Duffy Hill Road, which is ours for 2 building lots for Habitat for Humanity, and it's been completely ignored, that horse barn really, for no reason, because we haven't started construction in that area. And I received a phone call last week saying that the metal was
Bob
flapping.
Fletcher was,
So we went up to have a look at the metal, and there was more metal, we couldn't get into the building.
that red
It was saturated with tires.
wow.
Yeah. Since that, they've been disposed of, and we're, as a matter of fact, tomorrow they'll be buttoning up that building there and closing it up.
Well, that's why I think it should be manned if we have
Yeah.
something. Because
That's wise to be handled.
that's the one that bothers me, is the tires.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then also, there's a dumpster at the garage, right?
yes.
But you could go to the transfer station in Swan with a dump truck and pay by the ton for disposal.
Yeah, and for real bad stuff, you're supposed to take it up to Coventry. You know, if there's stuff that actually has to go into a landfill somewhere, that's where you're supposed to take that. But-
So maybe Billy Joe could run a sheet of what we would take and what we wouldn't, including like paints, tires, you know,
But
electronic stuff. Just make a little poster.
They'll take paint to
Billboard.
Georgia,
Oh, they will?
as long as it's latex.
Okay. And then maybe fill a dump truck up, one of the village trucks, and drive over. That's the
Okay, so you're saying you wanna designate some things that we will not pick up? In the
Yes.
past, we've taken whatever people have brought us.
I don't think we should take tires. I don't think we should take scrap
Okay,
metal junk, you know, old clothes, whatever people will find some stuff to throw out.
okay, so no tires, no paint, is that what you said? Or leave the
Hazard,
paint? Leave the
what do you
paint?
call it? When they have a special weekend, or sometimes a town will have like hazard.
Yeah,
This
we
is
also,
it.
well, no, we
Hazard
actually,
green out
yeah.
there.
in June, the solid waste district does a hazardous waste household cleanup event. And they've also, most of the time, not every time, but most of the time, they've used our Public Works garage for that event as well. And that's usually like the second week of June they do that. Yeah, but that's a different event. That's actually held by the Solid Waste District. So, and they will take literally anything you bring them, and they will dispose of it.
Yeah, so I guess if we were to have it manned, and then have a list made up of
Okay, so no tires,
appliances,
no appliances.
normal stuff that you wouldn't find on the side of the road.
Okay,
Big bulky
Like no
furniture,
electronics.
no furniture.
No electronics.
electronic batteries, right? Keep big
Batteries.
batteries. Just a list of prohibited things you can't bring to landfill, and then whoever's working, just have them let them know if it's appliance, you can bring it to Bluens, right? Metal. They have a metal scrap bin there that you can throw it in there. And tell them
Okay.
about the tires thing, the paint, the hazardous material cleanup day, whatever stuff. Just
Okay.
make them aware that there's places that can go.
Okay, so I have tires, appliances, furniture, and electronics. So
Batteries.
batteries.
if it's junk, bring it to Blues.
And then we could have somebody man
Auto parts,
the
Or you
scrap,
wanna
put it in
take-
the metal scrap bin at Bloom, or
do you think?
probably ought to run it by them.
You want
first.
to take them?
No, it says any steel, any iron.
Okay.
Okay, so take auto parts? Those okay or no?
Yeah, that's,
Okay,
yeah, anything that's,
Well, for the Blumen's dumpster, they have a scrap metal dumpster there. So
okay, so no, we won't take them. Tell them
if there's
to go to
not
Blumen's.
like a muffler or
Okay.
something, no, you can
No,
throw it in
no,
the scrap
no.
bin.
Okay, so auto parts. Okay, anything else?
Do you have somebody that would want to be there, man?
Want to be? Well, we'll get someone there,
Yeah.
one way or another.
Yeah.
Hard to say if they'll want to do it, but we'll have someone there to man it. Yeah.
Sounds good to me then.
Okay, so board's in agreement with that then? We'll, with those items omitted, we'll have our Public Works garage then as a drop-off point for the community? Okay, great. I'll let Billy Joe know then.
I think it wouldn't hurt to ask Billy Joe when you're talking to her with regards to all that. Is there something specific this year that they're changing?
Get out and pick them up.
In the past,
Cleaning up the
they've
street.
ignored an awful lot of that stuff.
I see place to buy the tires on 36.
Yeah, that's why I was asking,
Yeah.
because in the past, we took whatever
Creamery was.
Yeah.
people brought us.
Yeah,
We took tires, we
Yeah.
took furniture, whatever
Yeah.
people
and that was
brought.
similar as the Green Mountain one in Georgia, you know, the same
It's
thing
not green up.
was being hauled there, and it was a courtesy accepting it.
Yeah.
The only time now we
But
pick up there.
we can
is
ask
if it's
her,
a green up bag.
Is there
If it's a black
anything
bear
specific
bag,
on
pick
it?
up. Four tires.
Almost sounds like there's not much
And
point
we
in
came out of
having
there with 4 tandem loads of
a
air.
Green Day,
With all the exclusions?
with all those exclusions.
Yeah, well,
You went to the transfer
So
station
do you-
in Swanton.
No, we
did
don't
did you guys hear Walter's comments, concerns? So, do you want me to express?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
Walter was saying, with all the exclusions we have here, he's wondering what we'll really get and whether it's then worth even having it as a drop-off point if all we're taking is basically household garbage.
Well, it's supposed to be
See-
green up. There's things that you find like on the side of the roads and stuff, right?
Seems to me in the past and all that, you know, when it come to the charges and so forth, something was laid out loud and clear for it, and it was being accepted. Some of it was going into Georgia, some of it was going elsewhere. If you remember, the Lions used to use our depot. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think before we make up that list, we should ask Billy Joe, what are they not working with this job?
Well, by the time we get to
Well-
Billy Joe, then we would miss our date
Yeah.
for the next meeting.
Yeah, it'd be 2 weeks.
No.
But Billy Joe didn't say we should exclude this. This came from members of the board, suggested we should exclude
Tires to
some
me is a
things.
big thing.
Like, you ran that for years now. Did you have restrictions? You used to go out with the
Well,
flyers and that.
I was out with the school kids.
Yeah,
Some of the
right.
teachers came
Yeah.
and we done roadsides
Yeah,
out in the town.
yeah. Did you have restrictions then, if there was, you saw something on them?
Well, I can't remember having any tires, but it was mostly bottles and whatever,
Yeah,
paper
okay.
bags.
Mostly-
But what happens, some of these things, somebody could have a back room full of tires and
Oh, yeah.
decide, well, we'll bring them in. To me, the tires is the big thing. The rest of the stuff, appliances, that you can get rid of them.
Yeah, you can bring them to Blue Ones. There's a
Yeah.
metal dumpster, so it's not like they can't get rid of it. They can still get rid of it in the village. You just
Yeah.
gotta drive over to Blue Ones and throw it
Yeah.
in their dumpster.
Well, it could be that they've got Casella dropping off, if we're using our garage as a depot. You've got Casella for your metal products. They don't charge you for the metal, and they compensate you for whatever metal, what the weight of the metal is. It's been a few years since I've been out of it, so that's why I'm not sure.
Oh, I think Blue Ones here, they get paid for what they bring, and it's
Well, I
right
get
here.
paid too for,
No, but it's right here. We don't have to haul it.
Was a service for the public, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And we used to do it at the garage, but the next thing you know, everybody, Blue place is locked up and it's manned there. If they aren't, first thing you know, people are bringing in stuff in there that you don't want in there.
that's what was happening with the Lions
Yeah.
down at the
Yeah.
horse depot.
If you got any brake drums in it, they'll come and take them out somewhere, you know.
Put it in their heavy scrap pile.
I don't know, it's just food for thought. When you were talking with Billy Joe, just ask her, is there special arrangements been made for any of the specifics there?
Well, I don't think that there is. Nothing, more than what we've done in the past. I think she was just thinking same type of thing that we've done in the past.
I just think by having a list, it deters people from cleaning out their garages. If
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah, it would
roadside.
help.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and if they are road picking, generally what you come across is, McDonald's bags and bottles and cans and what have you, so for the
Well,
most
there's
part.
a couch out there right now on Duffy Hill Road there. It's been there for the last 3 days that I know of. Leather couch.
Yeah, there is stuff, and I mean, I've seen televisions
Oh,
and
God.
washers.
Yeah.
People do bring it in. You ask them, I remember having a conversation with a guy about the television he brought in, and I was like, this didn't come out of your apartment? You really found this on the road? He said, yeah, it was down by the riverbank, and I just thought, rather than have it on the riverbank, let's get rid of it and, get it someplace safe. And
No, the big thing is mattresses, I think, and tires, to me, is,
People have things that people normally can't get rid of or
Yeah.
don't want to get rid of. They
Yeah,
just chuck it on the side of the
difficult,
road
yeah.
and somebody else picks it up.
yeah, it's true. Now that you brought that up about the couch, Walter, last weekend, actually, I remember, it wasn't in Enosburg, thank goodness, but it was in Fletcher on Route 108. I noticed someone had dropped a couch and a few bags of garbage off on the side of the road.
yeah.
That there's kind of a pull-off there. Ellen, you might know it, you probably plow
Before you
by
get to
there.
Fletcher Station.
On 108 in Fletcher. Hi, Joe. And I happened to notice over the weekend someone had left a couch and a few bags of garbage on there, which, people do stuff like that. So, okay.
Well, we'll see what we can find out, that's all.
Okay, so, we'll have to move pretty quick, I think. So, do you want to keep the list of items we're not going to accept? Do you want that still? Or no?
I got a question. Are the people going to bring stuff to the garage, or
Yes.
is it people going out collecting?
Both.
It's a combination of both.
They're both.
It's
Yeah.
both.
People will bring stuff there,
'Cause if you-
hopefully stuff that they have collected from somewhere in the community.
Yeah, but if you have collected, you just don't collect the stuff that we don't want. But if people are free to bring whatever they want,
Well, and that's what we can't really know.
Yeah.
Well, I think
If someone, brings in, whatever, 3 bags of garbage and 2 tires and a fan, I mean, are you gonna give them the 3rd degree over, where did they get this stuff and where did they pick it up, or are you gonna accept it?
Well, I think with, if they're green upping, they find one tire side of the road, I mean, you pick it up. We used to bring it over to the town garage with the school kids once they got done.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we're doing here.
And, but what we gotta do is stop people from bringing in, the guys bringing in 5, 6 or more tires, or 4 or 5 even, I mean.
Basically what it boils down to, I think, is you can get rid of this, even if we say no list and somebody dumps off an old dishwasher or stove or something, we could bring it over to Blue Ones and throw it in the dumpster.
Yep.
Somebody, whoever's man there.
And that's
could-
probably what we'll do.
Could sort that ourselves. But as far as tires, you're gonna pay to get rid of.
Oh, yeah, sure, okay.
So, I don't know. But there are tires
That's
on the
why
side
I
of the
think we should
road.
have it manned, if somebody comes in and holds.
Well, it'd be wise to have it manned just for organization.
If you're green up people bring in a
You
tire.
want to keep your
you gotta
metal
take
away
it.
from your other,
But if it's
Pieces.
somebody cleaning out the back shed, then, it's,
yeah.
I don't think it's a place to take in everybody's tires.
So make it up to the discretion of whoever's manning the event to see what he's gonna take and what he's not gonna take.
Yeah, we would have this list,
Yeah.
and that person would be responsible for making sure we aren't taking in
we
any
got
of
it
these
down to
items.
just no tires.
Is that, so my question then is, after Walter brought these concerns up about, whether it's still worth doing this if we're eliminating that stuff, my question then is, how do you feel then after those comments? Do you still want to keep this list of things we will not accept for Green Up Day? Or do you want to pare some of them back or keep it as is?
I'd bring it down to no tires.
If there's gonna be somebody there, then they can sort the scrap metal and bring it over to Blue Ones.
Yeah,
We can
Okay.
still get rid of everything they bring
I'd
in.
agree with just the tire thing myself.
yeah, just get no tires.
Okay, so is everyone in agreement with that then? Just no tires? But, so we'll accept appliances, furniture, electronics,
Yeah.
batteries and auto parts? Okay, all right. And
What
is
batteries do you think we're gonna get?
everyone in agreement? Got a consensus then? Just that one item, no tires?
Right.
Okay.
Hopefully we don't.
Don't get the bonds on.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
actually.
done with that now?
Yeah, I think so.
You do?
Next item is the manager's report.
Okay, so just a quick report this week. First, I want to give you guys an update on the diesel number 1 building, Interpretive Center Eco Park project. Everything moved along very well through the first phase of that project. This afternoon, actually, we did a walkthrough with the engineer and the contractor, and everything looked in very good order. We received the final payment invoice from Gilmet Handyman Services, the contractor doing the work to the diesel number 1 building, and should have a payment to him by the end of the week. And he's going to start immediately next week on phase 2 of that project.
That was my question.
Yeah, there's another phase to
Yeah.
this that you guys might recall,
We had to
although
split the bond.
right. Gilly had to get a little creative with how he was going to bond for the project. We ended up cutting it into 2 different phases. So he's not done yet, but he's now done with phase 1, and he's got another 90 days then to finish phase 2 of the project, which will take him into July then. But I thought he did a really good job on phase 1. You're welcome to go and walk around the building, take a look, see what you think. He in particular did a really nice job on the front door. I thought that front door looked horrible. It was just so beat up, and it's a nice looking front door now.
So will the outside be painted when it's all done?
Yes, phase 2. Yeah, he just did in this first phase. He just kind of did the scrape down and got rid of some of the lead paint issues there. And on the interior, he did a lot of the cleanup work, but not all of it. There's still some things he needs to address on the interior of it. Plus, he hasn't also, like the outside, hasn't done any of the painting on the interior as well. But he did make some really good progress with the cleaning part of it. As you can imagine, pretty bad problem with pigeons in there. I mean, that building has basically been wide open.
They write their names.
Yeah, I think they probably did.
They autograph their work.
So, but it looks a lot better now, even on the inside. Not perfect, far from perfect, but a lot better than it did, 3 months ago when Gilly started the project. We had a good turnout for the Hayes Farm Road Culvert project. Our pre-bid meeting on this was April 16th. We had 5 contractors turn out for the pre-bid meeting on that. I thought that was pretty good interest. Not a guarantee they're all going to put a bid in, but at least we had 5 contractors come out to the pre-bid meeting and take a look at the project, and I thought that was a good sign. So the bids are due on May 15th at 10 a.m. There'll be a public bid opening here in this room at that time. And then your following meeting, which I believe is May 22nd, will bring the results of that bid opening to you, our board, so that you may make a decision about who you want to award the contract to. Hopefully we'll get some good quotes from people. Let's see, and then lastly, I just wanted to make the board aware that we have received notice from the Public Utility Commission that another new solar net metering application has been received by them for our service territory. So we're going to have another solar net metering project in our electric department service territory. The address is 25 White Road. That's the Nutshell storage facility, mini storage facility. Yep. And they're looking at doing a rooftop solar array on all of those buildings out there. So that's I don't know if you've ever really looked at those buildings, but that's a lot of space if you're looking at the rooftops of all of those storage units. So just wanted to make you guys aware of that. It's another solar net metering project that is apparently going to be coming into our electric department service territory. And that's it for manager's report.
Very good, Joe. Next item is other business. Does anybody have any other business to discuss at this particular time? If not, we'll move on to, and I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make that motion.
Second.
I'll second.